So before we begin this video, I'm going to give you a scenario. You are about to go to battle. Your enemy is equipped with break action single shot 308s, and you have the option of either that with its great range and power advantage, or a 13 shot bolt action in 44 Magnum, trading off a little range for a massive increase in capacity. For a lot of us, the answer seems like a no-brainer. However, back in the late 1800s, the answer wasn't so cut and dry. What's up, guys? Skippy Africanus here, and welcome to another episode of Cartridge of the Week, and this week we will be featuring the 10.4 by 38R, or as is commonly known, the 41 Swiss. This cartridge was developed in 1867 by the Swiss for their multi-shot Vetterli rifles. In its original iteration, the 41 Swiss would come standard with around a 313 grain bullet, and much like every other cartridge of the day, would be fueled by black powder. Now, originally the casings would be made of copper, and companies that would manufacture the ammo would maintain this copper case all the way up into the 1940s. However, the ammo would also be made with brass casings, as is seen on this Italian-made example. The cartridge would also not stay a black powder loading, with some ammo made in the very later 1800s using smokeless powder. Now, another very distinct part of the 10.4 by 38R is its rimfire ignition system. Aside from being the chambering of the first repeating rifle ever adopted, it would also be one of the very few rimfire cartridges that were actually adopted. Now, one little neat tidbit of info on rimfire cartridges is that once you get to a certain size, it becomes necessary to have two firing pins as opposed to just one. Your standard 22LR is small enough to where this isn't really an issue. However, on cartridges like the 41 Swiss, that second firing pin is necessary in order to provide the cartridge with a little more of an even burn, which is why you'll see on Vetterlis they have this horn-shaped firing pin as opposed to just one firing pin like you see on your standard 22LR. Now, we keep bringing up the Vetterli because that's the most common rifle you will see in this cartridge. However, it is not the only rifle that would take this cartridge. Another rifle that would take it would be the Peabody. However, that being said, in not nearly as many numbers as the Vetterlis. Now you might be wondering what the point of the scenario that I gave you at the beginning of this video was. If anything, it's almost a no-brainer that you and your guys would take the multi-shot 44s with their slight range disadvantage over the single-shot 308s. However, in the late 1800s, most militaries would have picked the break-action 308. You see, at the time of the Vetterlis development, and quite a few years past that, militaries tend to be opposed to repeating rifles, much more in favor of single-shot rifles in heavy-hitting calibers, such as 45-70, 11mm Mauser, 5.77 by 450 Martini. Hell, the Italians themselves would end up adopting the Vetterli, and the two things they asked for were make it a single-shot rifle and give us a bigger cartridge. Though the Vetterli, with its smaller cartridge, could hold a whopping 13 rounds, it was considered in a lot of ways as useless by all but the Swiss. Of course, everyone would eventually come to realize the benefits of repeating rifles and would either convert their existing single shots or jump for a whole other platform. And despite the Vetterli and its 41 Swiss having the early bird advantage, they too would be replaced by the Schmidt-Rubin and its 7.5 by 55mm cartridge in around 1889. Now, of course, even though the cartridge would be formally replaced by the Swiss in 1889, this did not mean the total sudden death of the cartridge. Companies would still continue to manufacture this cartridge well into the late 1940s. And while not in its original rimfire variant, there are plenty of people that still make the cartridge today, actually myself included, though it is a centerfire cartridge as opposed to the rimfire because, well, you can't really reload rimfire. If you wish to see more info on the Vetterli rifle specifically, mainly on how it works, I will link a video down below I have going over that. And of course, I will also be linking an actual shooting video because, as mentioned, I actually reload and shoot this cartridge. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video as much as I personally enjoyed making it, and I will see y'all next time.